Please don't skip this video. What you're about to witness occurred in a real courtroom and revolutionized an entire nation's legal system. A 3-year-old child did something extraordinary, pointing at a police officer among a crowd of people. What happened next will leave you astonished. Be sure to turn on the notification bell to learn how an innocent child revealed one of the greatest scandals in history. Also, share in the comments where you're watching from. It was a vibrant Tuesday at the Central Court. What seemed like a typical session was about to become one of Brazil's most significant legal cases. Among the attendees was Mariana, holding her 3-year-old son, Lucas. Unaware of the courtroom's serious atmosphere, little Lucas was absorbed in playing with his toy fire truck, a recent birthday gift. His curious eyes wandered to the courtroom's high ceilings, captivated by the elegant chandeliers glowing above the crowd. Mariana was there to testify in an armed robbery case she had seen through her shop window 6 months earlier. With no one to care for Lucas, she had persuaded the judge to let her bring him along. The court's formal environment sharply contrasted with the child's innocence. While sharply dressed lawyers hurried through the corridors, Lucas was immersed in his own world, rolling his toy truck along the armrest of his seat. Suddenly, the side doors opened, and a group of bailiffs and police officers entered to ensure courtroom security. The uniformed men and women took their standard positions, a routine that drew little notice, except from Lucas. Abruptly, he stopped playing, his wide eyes fixing on a single point in the room. His toy fire truck slipped from his small hands, clattering to the floor and echoing through the quiet courtroom. With a grave expression beyond his years, Lucas raised his tiny finger and pointed directly at one of the officers. "There he is," his young voice rang out, breaking the courtroom's silence. "Mama, it's him." The room fell silent as all eyes turned first to the boy, then to the officer he pointed at, who visibly paled. Unbeknownst to anyone at that moment, this simple act was about to set off a chain of events that would transform the justice system forever. The officer, Sergeant Costa, stood frozen, his face a mix of shock and fear. Mariana noticed his hands, once steady, now trembling. Judge João Ribeiro, preparing to start the session, sensed the rising tension. "Mama, it's him. That's him," Lucas insisted with striking certainty. Embarrassed by the sudden attention, Mariana tried to quiet her son, but Lucas refused to back down, his gaze locked on the officer. Sergeant Costa took a step back, as if trying to blend into the wall. Prosecutor Dr. Rafael Souza, with 20 years of experience, observed with growing curiosity. His instincts told him something was amiss. Costa's reaction wasn't that of an innocent man wrongly accused. It was the response of someone caught off guard. "Let's take a short recess," Judge Ribeiro announced, feeling the mounting unease. "Sergeant Costa, I'd like to speak with you in my chambers." As whispers spread through the courtroom, Dr. Rafael approached Mariana discreetly. "Ma'am, can you explain why your son reacted that way?" Still confused, Mariana replied, "I don't know. Lucas has never seen him before. We're only here for my testimony about the robbery." The prosecutor's brow furrowed. "Did you see the robbers' faces?" "No, they wore masks," Mariana said, then paused as a realization dawned. "But one of them. He walked with a limp on his right leg." All eyes shifted to Sergeant Costa as he walked toward the judge's chambers, limping slightly on his right leg. Dr. Rafael signaled discreetly to court security to secure all exits, sensing they were on the verge of uncovering something massive. Hours later, the incident had escalated into a full-blown investigation. While Costa was detained for questioning, a specialized team began examining his record. What they found surpassed all expectations. "Pull every case Costa was involved in over the last 5 years," Rafael ordered. The prosecutor's office turned into a makeshift investigation hub, with piles of files revealing a disturbing pattern. In every robbery case, victims described a suspect with a limp. Costa was always the first officer on the scene, playing a key role in the investigations. Mariana and Lucas were placed under protective custody. Lucas, too young to grasp the enormity of his actions, played in a secure room but grew visibly tense whenever Costa's name was mentioned. "Ma'am," Raphael said gravely, showing Mariana a file. "You need to see this." Spread before her were dozens of police reports, all detailing robberies involving masked suspects, one with a limp on his right leg. But the discoveries didn't stop there. Investigators found large deposits in offshore accounts linked to shell companies, perfectly matching the dates of the robberies. As the investigation deepened, past victims were re-interviewed. Many identified Costa from photos without his uniform. One elderly victim nearly fainted upon seeing him, trembling as she said, "It's him. He was there. He wore a mask, but I'll never forget those eyes and that limp." The scandal exploded when other officers began coming forward. One young cop, speaking anonymously, revealed he ran a complex scheme using privileged police information to select targets, committing the robberies himself, then leading the investigations to frame innocent people. The case dominated headlines. 3-year-old exposes police crime ring. The Central Court became the epicenter of Brazil's largest corruption scandal. After 48 hours of intense questioning, Sergeant Costa finally confessed on video. "It started 7 years ago," he admitted. "We used police intelligence to target vulnerable people, merchants, the elderly, anyone likely to have cash. Then we robbed them." The investigation uncovered a vast network involving 3 senior detectives and even a retired judge. This wasn't just crime, Raphael declared at a press conference. It was systemic corruption. They framed innocent people while remaining untouchable. Mariana's shop had been one of many targets. Reflecting later, she said, "When Lucas pointed at Costa, it clicked. That limp I saw during the robbery, I couldn't believe a cop could be involved." Lucas became an unintentional hero. Psychologists praised his ability to notice subtle cues adults overlooked. "Uniforms command trust," Dr. Camila Ferreira explained, "but children rely on instinct." The investigation also exposed a massive money laundering operation, with over 50 million reais funneled through cryptocurrency and front companies. "Each document revealed deeper layers," said lead investigator Ana Lima. "What began with a child's gesture grew into the largest anti-corruption operation in local police history. Victims found closure, and wrongfully convicted individuals were freed. My father died thinking street criminals robbed him," one victim said tearfully. "Now we know it was the people meant to protect us." Months later, Lucas's actions spurred sweeping reforms across the country, dubbed the Lucas Protocol. New regulations mandated independent oversight, body cameras for all operations, and AI tools to detect suspicious police activity. Mariana shared her story publicly, saying emotionally, "I never imagined that day in court would change so many lives. My son unknowingly exposed a crime and reshaped a system." Lucas remained unaware of his impact. His image, pointing his finger, became a national symbol with the slogan, "Truth comes from the purest hearts." Recovered stolen funds were used to modernize the police and support victims. "This case showed us to look beyond appearances," said Raphael, now leading the new anti-corruption unit. "A child proved truth doesn't hide behind badges or titles." Delegations from other regions and countries studied the Lucas Protocol. Law schools and police academies began teaching the case. "It reminds us," an international security expert noted that sometimes a child's innocence reveals what our biases conceal. A memorial was erected to honor the victims, and a psychological support program was launched for those affected. Lucas, meanwhile, remained a joyful child, oblivious to the change he sparked. At the opening of a new police oversight center, Mariana reflected, "Sometimes we need to shed our adult complexity and embrace a child's clarity. My son showed us that truth is plain as day if we dare to point to it." This remarkable story has concluded, but its lessons endure. Subscribe and activate the notification bell to stay updated on our next compelling tale. Share in the comments what part of this story moved you most, and pass this video along to friends and family. Together, we can inspire a fairer world. Thank you for watching Storyline Narratives.